Okay, final thing for complex numbers is division. Right? In terms of division, your steps for getting division in complex numbers is you have to get the conjugate of the bottom. So if you remember back what the conjugate is, that means you have to change the value of the I part. All right, then multiply the top and the bottom by this conjugate. So you are not getting the conjugate of the top and the conjugate of the bottom. You're only multiplying by the conjugate of the bottom. Okay, so you multiply it all out, then tidy it up. When you tidy it up, you should have no i's in the bottom row. All right, and then finally sub in your I squareds being equal to -1. So if we look at this example, I have -2 plus 3i over -3 minus 2i. It's 1 over the other, so I know that's division. Okay, my method is I have to get the conjugate of the bottom and multiply, so I put everything into brackets. All right, the bottom is -3 minus 2i, so its conjugate is -3 plus 2i. So I multiply top and bottom by their conjugate. Okay, I am allowed to do that because if I multiply by the same thing on top and bottom, I haven't changed the sum at all. It's like multiplying by 1. Okay, so now I have 2 brackets on the top, 2 brackets on the bottom. So how I multiply them out is by splitting your brackets. So my top line will become -2, your bracket, plus 3i, your second bracket. Bottom line is -3, second bracket, plus, -2i, second bracket. Okay, so multiplying it out, minus by minus gives me a +6, -4i, -9i, plus 6i squared. On top, at the bottom, I go minus by minus gives me 9, and it's plus, -6i, plus 6i, -4i squared. So when I tidy it up, my i's on the bottom cancel. So I've got no i's on the bottom line, apart from my I squared. So when I tidy it up, I get 6 minus 13i. My plus 6i squared becomes -6. So I write down the coefficient and change its sign and don't write down the I squared. On the bottom line, I have 9 and now I have plus 4. Okay, so I tidy that up more. This 6 and this -6 cancel each other. So on my top line, I'm left with -13i. On my bottom, I'm left with 13. So when I divide it in, that's the same as just -i. If the question had asked me to write it in the form a plus bi, your correct answer for this would be 0 minus 1i. Okay, so again, the method is get the conjugate of the bottom, multiply top and bottom by that conjugate, tidy it up, sub in your I squareds. So if we look at this one, again, complex number over complex number. Your method, put them in brackets, multiply top and bottom by the conjugate of the bottom. So we're going -1 minus 2i at the top, -1 minus 2i at the bottom. Pair of brackets, split the bracket. So 3 -1 minus 2i minus I times -1 minus 2i over okay, multiply them out. 3 times -1 gives me -3, -6i, minus by minus gives me plus, that's an I, minus by minus gives me plus 2i squared all over the bottom. I'm getting 1 plus 2i minus 2i minus 4i squared. Tidy them up so those two cancel. Alright, so tidying up the top line, I'm getting minus 3 minus 5i minus 2. So it was a plus 2i squared. So I just write down the coefficient, which is 2, and change its sign and don't write down the I squared. That's the top. The bottom is 1. Now it's plus 4. Tidying that up again, I'm getting minus 5 minus 5i all over 5. Dividing by my 5, so I'm getting minus 1 minus I. Okay, so again, division is you get the conjugate of the bottom. So you change the I value, the sign of the I part of the bottom, and multiply top and bottom by that conjugate. Okay, when you're multiplying, you have to remember to split out your bracket. So the way you do it is just imagine there's a little imaginary line that comes down there. And you go 3 times this bracket minus I times this bracket. On the top, on the bottom, minus 1 times the second bracket plus 2i times the second bracket. Okay, so that's your division. So again, for complex numbers, you need to know how to add and subtract, multiply, divide, and get the conjugate and get the modulus. Okay. How do I stop this thing?